In today's video, I want to talk to you about what I believe the real estate market will be moving this upcoming 2023 and my predictions, okay, on what I think is going to happen. But more importantly, I want to talk to the first-time home buyers, okay? Those of you who think, should I wait? Should I not wait? Should I get into the real estate market? Interest rates are high. What do I do? What's going on? Awesome. Welcome back, everyone. So once again, the name of our channel is Through Failure and Success. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I have one request only, okay? And my request is that you subscribe to the channel, share it to anybody that you feel that you believe is going to find some value in this video, because I truly believe, okay? I truly believe that we bring you valuable content every single week when we jump on here. And my purpose is to reach out to you, those of you who are thinking, I don't know what to do. Okay. I don't know. I don't know if I should buy a house in this case. I don't know what to do with my individual. Anyways, today's purpose is just to tell you, okay, I'm talking to the first time home buyers. Okay. If you find some value or you know somebody that is going to find their home, share this video to them so that therefore they can make a decision, not based on this video, but they can make a decision whether it is the right time for them to buy for themselves or not. But in today's video, I want to talk to you about what I believe, what's happening in the real estate market. Okay. We saw 2020, we saw 2021, a boom in real estate. Everything just went out of price. If you saw a house on the market, the buyer comes in and says, you know what, I want to give you 20,000 over asking. I want to give you 50,000 over asking. Matter of fact, let's make that $100,000 over asking. And by the way, I don't want to have an appraisal. Okay. If you don't know what an appraisal means, it means that an appraiser comes in, they inspect the home from top to bottom. Okay. And then they say, based on the research that I found here and based on your neighborhood's research, I believe that this house is worth this much. Okay. That's what an appraiser does. Well, most buyers were waiving that. They're saying, you know what? I'll give you 100,000 over asking. By the way, I don't want an appraiser. And you know what? To make it even better in my offer, let's waive the inspection of the house. Okay. Inspection of the home is very important. I would never suggest you do that, by the way, because the inspector will come in and it will tell you they see where a realtor's eyes would not go to. Okay. The realtor's job is for them to let you know, I think this house is worth this much, and I think that we should make this offer. You know what? Let's write up this offer, but by this much, Mr. and Mrs. What do you think about this offer? You know what? Let's counter that. That's the realtor's job. The inspector's job is for them to come in and say, you know what? There's a leaking on the plumbing. There's a leaking on this. You know what? The roof is this. This is all the house looks good. You know what? I think that there's a repairs. The inspector is gonna top to bottom is gonna let you know what the realtor is not gonna be able to tell you. Okay. And I'm a realtor, by the way. Okay. And this is not against any realtors, by the way. Okay. I love you all realtors. I love my profession. But let's be honest, the realtor is not gonna get on their knees and look at the plumbing, see what's going on with it. So this is what the inspector would do. This is what happened in 2020 when most buyers, 90% of the buyers were waiving the appraisal, were waiving the inspection. By the way, I'll give you 100,000 over asking. Take my offer. You know what? The end of the world is coming soon. What that did is it caused at what I like to call an inflation, okay, on home prices, okay, an artificial, okay, that's the word that I was looking for, an artificial inflation on home prices, because the neighbor said, hey, I sold my house for $600,000. Now the neighbor next door says, well, you know what? If he sold it for $6, let's put mine for $605. Let's see how much I get. This is when interest rates were at 3%, 2% for the Federal Reserve to come in and stimulate the economy. Okay, that's what they did. They stimulated the economy for so long, okay, that we believe that interest rates were 2%, 3%. That was normal. You know what? I'm going to go buy a house. 3% is normal. That was not normal, by the way, okay? You go to Mexico. I just went to Mexico a few weeks ago, okay? I went to go ask for how much was a house, okay? This is Rosarito, by the way. I went to Rosarito, Mexico, or Rosarito, if you want to call it like that. I went to Rosarito, Mexico. I asked the realtor. I didn't say I was a realtor. I just presented myself as if I was just a buyer. I said, you know what? What's the financing right now? 9%. I don't know what it is right now. It was 9%. to buy a house when the interest rates in the United States was 5% at that point. Okay. Right now they sit about 6.5%, but the interest rates in on a mortgage home was stimulated to be at around 2 to 3%. Guess what happened? Federal Reserve, that's enough. There's so much demand. We printed too much money. The house demand got out of control. It's time for us to put a stop to that. How do we do that? Well, let's go ahead and raise the interest rates. Okay. By the way, interest rates were raised not just on mortgage. It was raised based on the index, okay, that tracks the interest rates, okay? This is the index that tracks credit cards, car loans, mortgage loans, personal loans, bank loans, whatever type of loans, okay? When you go to a bank and says, I need money for this, let me borrow some money. That's the index, okay? They raised it four times this year, okay? Unprecedented. They raised it at such a high pace that now, okay, now most buyers believe that interest rates are very high. They're through the roof, okay, which they are. If you compare them to where they were just a year ago, January 2022, now being January 2023, okay, in less than 12 months, they went up more than double. Okay, from 3% to 6.5%. That is 100% increase. But with that, okay, they're still at a very historic low. Okay, the average interest rate, okay, is 7.76%. Okay, let me repeat that again. The average rate on a mortgage home is 7.6%. Back in 1981, the interest rate on a mortgage, okay, pay attention here. Back in 1981, the average mortgage rate on a home was 18.5%. Let me say that again, okay? This is ridiculous. 18.5% on a mortgage loan back in 1981. Today, they sit about 6.5%. The average is 7.76%. Most people are freaking out because they're very high. Of course, they're going to be high. We were accustomed to have them at 2-3%. Then now we're thinking, oh my God, it's 6.5%. Yeah, they're high, but still not at the highest where they were. So that is a little bit history. That is a little bit of what's happening with the market, with the interest rates, and why the real estate market is at a standstill. It's basically frozen right now. Okay. We're not seeing transactions happening right now. We're seeing it about maybe 35% less, 35% interest transactions less than what it was last year. Okay. So existing home sales as of November 2022, okay, year over year, okay, 7.7% less. Pending home sales in November 22 was 4%. Okay. The this is again, it's been happening every single month. Okay. But interest rate, this is the purpose of what the Federal Reserve raised the interest rate for exactly what's happening right now. Now, what they did so with the intention to not cause a recession. Now, if you ask most economists, if you ask most investors, most business owners, go ask Elon Musk, okay, the runner, the CEO of Tesla and Twitter, okay, go ask Grant Cardone, okay, I'm sure most of you may know who Grant Cardone is. Go ask Patrick Bet-David, okay, these are heavy hitters in the business game, okay. They will tell you, and I will tell you as well, that we are officially in a recession. But the government is not going to tell us that. Okay. Why? Because of the fear that they don't want to insert into you. But we are officially in a recession. So, with that being said, 8 tips that I want to give you very quick. Okay. For you to prepare. If you're a first-time home buyer, by the way, okay, this message is for first-time home buyers. I'm not talking to second-time home buyers. I'm not talking to an investor. I'm not talking to a third home buyer. This is strictly for you. If you are a first-time home buyer, or if you are thinking about buying your first home, this message is for you. First-time home buyer, the very first thing that I recommend, okay, is that you take a look at your debt. It's going to be the most essential thing that you want to take a look at, okay, when you are thinking about buying a house. Because If you're thinking about buying a house, but you have 30,000, 50,000, $100,000 in debt, maybe it's not maybe it's not appropriate for you to get into a house. If you have $50,000 in student debt, maybe it's not to you to get into this market right now. So, debt number one, if you're in a lot of debt, okay, Dave Ramsey recommends tackling it in a way that you tackle it as a snowball, okay? You tackle the smallest to largest. Other economists say, you know what, tackle it, with the one that has the highest interest rate, pay that one off and then go to the lowest one as well. I mean, from the highest to lowest in the interest rates. I say do whatever works for you. Do whatever works for you. List your debt, all of it, okay? Smallest to largest, highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate, whatever works for you. Tackle that debt. But I personally will tell you, don't get into a mortgage right now. Don't get into a house if the debt is going to take 30 to 40% of your income already as it is. You're going to come in with a house payment that's going to take another 30% of your paycheck. That is about 70%, 75% of your paycheck. If you have a family, if you have a wife, if you have kids, you still want to take them out. You still want to have a life. You don't want to be in debt. You don't want to be a slave to the mortgage. So take a look at your debt, list them, find out where you can do better, which one you can tackle better, and then pay that one off. When you pay off your debt and then you think that you have breathing room, all right, now it's time for me to breathe, then that may be the time for you to get into the market. Okay. Number two, savings. Okay. Really fast. Typically, you will need about 3.5% down payment. Okay. This is an FHA loan. FHA loan is a government backed loan that will allow you to get into a house with the 3.5% down payment. Now, there's conventional loans if you want to give a little bit more than 3.5%, but typically 3.5% is going to come in with a PMI, private mortgage insurance. That's you're going to pay probably about 1% more than your what you're paying. So let's just say your interest rate is 6%. Probably you're going to be paying 7%. Why? Because of the 1% of PMI. That's going to cost you to have an additional $200 to $300, depending on the price, depending on the down payment that the house, okay, how much house you got, that's going to accumulate into your mortgage payment. So savings 3.5%. If you have a $350,000 house, okay, typically 3.5% will be $12,000 to $15,000. Okay, if you don't have $12,000 to $15,000 in the bank, maybe it's not the time for you to get into the market. Build it up to $20,000, $25,000 just in case that you have any emergencies. Okay, the bank will see you as a strong buyer, someone that is serious, someone that has strong reserves in the bank. Okay, just waiting there for yourself for the bank to give you the loan. So I would say anywhere a $350,000 house, you're gonna give a 3.5%, $20,000 savings. It looks solid. But again, the number, depending on the city, depending on the state, depending on the house that you're buying, it's very different. Make sure that you get with your realtor. Make sure that you if you want to get a financial advisor, whatever that is, make sure you get with them. Find out what is the amount that is required, okay? Because the realtor is out to give you that information, okay? They're not required to, but a good realtor is going to assess you, is going to let you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, I think right now that this is the amount of money that you need to have. Without that, I don't think we have a fair shot. Okay. So if you don't get that, make sure that you find another good realtor that is going to give you that information for yourself so that therefore you can make the right decision. Okay, so number three, okay, spending. Make sure that as we're now in 2023, make sure that you understand your spending. Okay, if you don't have really good habits on spending, okay, maybe you want to cut off a little bit on the dining out, maybe a little bit on how much you're spending on subscriptions. I don't need that subscription. Netflix just raised their prices. $10, $15, $20. I'm paying $5, $10 more. I don't need Netflix. I don't need Disney Plus, whatever that is. Okay, make sure that you look at your spending and find out ways where you can cut a little bit of spending so that therefore you can raise your savings as well. That is very important. That will be number three. Number four, negotiability. This is the market. Okay, we are officially in a buyer's market. Okay, if you don't understand what a buyer's market is, let me explain to you briefly. A seller's market, typically the seller has the control of how much they want for the house. A buyer, and there's not a lot of sellers. Okay, so it's the opposite. Buyer's market, it's the opposite. There's not enough buyers, but a lot of sellers in the market trying to get their house sold. we are officially in a buyer's market, okay, where you can have the negotiability. So my suggestion to you is negotiate. If you see a price for $400,000 and it hasn't sold in over 60 days, maybe you ought to be making an offer of $325,000. And by the way, pay me for the closing costs. Or you know what? I'll give you $350,000 if you pay for the closing costs and you give me an interest buy down. Okay. I will get into another video about what the interest buy down is, but there is a way for you to bring down your interest based on the current interest rates that we have right now. But negotiability, that is very key for you to understand. Make sure that you have a good realtor representing you so that you can get a good deal for the house that you want to get your family into. Because remember, you want to be in this house for the next couple of years, okay? And for most people, most first-time home buyers, this is going to be the biggest investment of their lives. So it is very important for you to understand how you can negotiate that house that you want to get into. And then number 5, okay? I just talked about this right now, but shop for interest rates. Most people, okay, do not shop around for interest rate. I believe I saw an article. I put a post on one of my social medias where I believe it was 70-80% of people they do not shop around for interest rates. They do shop around for vacations, cars, and everything else that doesn't have to do with shopping around for interest rates. But there you can shop around if your realtor connects you with a good lender. Okay, maybe you have a good lender that you can talk to. Maybe you ought to say to them, you know what, hey, is there any other lender that can give me a better deal? Okay, right now there's a program that is called a 3-2-1 buy down or a 2-1 buy down. Those are making a comeback, and I'm gonna make a video about that actually, because this is very important information for you to know. But there is a program where you can ask the seller. Okay, this is part of the negotiability. You can ask the seller, I'll buy your house, I'll give you what you're asking for, but give us a credit based on whatever the buy down is going to cost you, $15,000, $20,000. That is going to allow you a temporary savings, a temporary interest rate buy down, okay, on your interest rates for the mortgage. That's going to allow you to save a couple $1,000s for the first 2 to 3 years. So shop around for your interest rates, because this is very, very essential for you to know right now and to know how you're going to make your move. Number 6, understand your needs. A lot of the times I get to deal with clients, okay? They say, I want this and I want that and I want this and I want that, but I only bring in this a month. Okay, wrong strategy. You ought to understand what your needs are. You know what? I have 2 kids. I have 2 kids. They're 3 and 5 years old. Okay. They probably don't need a room right now. I can live with one, but my wife and I, we need a room. We need a room for ourselves. We need a room for the kids. We need a 2-bedroom house, maybe a 3-bedroom house. If it's a boy and a girl, whatever that is. This market is not the time for you to get extravagant, to get a luxury house. This is the time for you where you need to understand, okay, what your needs are based on how much money you're bringing in, how much money is going to go out. Okay, honey, you know what? Let's sit down and let's talk about this. Okay, we want a house, but how much house do we need? Do we need a 2,000 square feet house, or do we need a 1,500 square feet house? Do we need a 5-bedroom house? Do we really need that? Or do we need a 3-bedroom house? Because we only got 2 kids. Okay, and they're 3 and 5 years old right now. I don't think they actually need the room right now. Some of them, they come and sleep in the middle of the night. If you're like me and my wife, they come and scoop up in the middle of the night and they put themselves in the middle of myself and my wife. Okay, maybe we don't need a 3-bedroom. Maybe we need a 2-bedroom right now. Okay, but you ought to be looking at what your needs are. That is very important. If you cannot assess that, okay, let me tell you, I just talked to a client where they said, you know what, let's not rush it because we don't want to make a mistake. When he said that to me, I said, this man understands, okay? And I learned a lot from just that one phrase that this man gave me, okay? Said, let's not rush things and let's not make a mistake. I was like, wow, that's powerful. So I'm telling you right now, don't rush things and do not make a mistake when you're purchasing your house. This is your first house that you're going to buy, okay? This is your first home where you're going to put your family into. Okay. You ought to be making the right decision. So understand what your needs will be when you're purchasing your house. And with that, number seven comes in and know your limit. Know your limit of how much house you can get. Know how much money you're going to be spending out. Okay, so they go hand in hand together. Number seven is know your limit. And last but not least, number eight, see yourself in there for the next 5 to 10 years. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say see yourself the next 5 to 10 years? It's very simple. You ought to be knowing that this is the market where you're probably going to be making one of the biggest investments for yourself and your family. Okay. For most people, buying a house is one of the biggest investments they'll ever make in their lives. So you ought to be making the right decision. So what is going to need to happen in order for you to do that? You ought to be seeing yourself there for the next 5, 7, or 10 years for yourself. Okay. Remember, this is your first time you're buying a house. You want to make the right decision. Now, if you want to be a little bit savvy, a little bit of an investor, that's up to you. But if you're like most people, okay, you want to see yourself here for the next 5 to 10 years. My son is 3 years old. Honey, we want to see him here. I really like the school district here. I want to see him go to the high school. I want to see him go to the middle school. This is it. This is the house. You know what, honey? You're pregnant. You're pregnant. I really like the middle school there. I like the program of the kindergarten there. This is the home. This is where I want to see us grow. This is where I want to see us to be in. Again, it goes back to what your goals are, what you setting up for yourself and your family. You are the leader of the house. You are the leader of the this group that you carry for yourself. So therefore, if you're gonna buy your first home, okay, and if it's you, your spouse, your kid, your wife, maybe she's pregnant, you want to see your kids grow. You have a vision for yourself of what you want out of life. Okay. And by the way, if you have that, my salutes to you. My hats go off to you because not a lot of people have that. You are ahead of 90% of the people in the culture that we have here in our country. But with that being said, see yourself for the next 5 to 10 years. Do I see myself here for next 5 years? I don't think so. Okay, you know what? Maybe this is not the house that we want to get. Honey, let's go ahead and keep on looking. Okay. Or I do see myself here for the next 5 years, I mean, not 5 to 10 years. You know what? This is the house. This is the one. We don't have a lot of debt. Our credit is good. Our income is good. I believe that this house payment is not going to take no more than 35% of our paycheck. We still have for about $4,000 left for the month for me to take you out. I want to take you out on a dinner once a month, honey. Okay. I want to take you and my son. I want to take you and my daughter out for ice cream every Sunday, every Saturday, whatever that looks like for you. Okay. You ought to be making these decisions most times. Okay. Kids do what feels good. Okay. Adults ought to be making what is right, but it's usually the opposite. Okay. Most adults do what feel right, do what feels good at the moment. So I'm letting you know, I'm giving you an advice. Please listen to me. This market in 2023, it's going to be filled with opportunities, but you ought to be making the right decision for yourself. Okay. That is my prediction. Those are my 8 tips. Okay. Those are my 8 tips that I want to give you for you to make the right decision for yourself and your family, because I truly want you to have home ownership. Okay. Home ownership is one of the biggest wealth builders, okay, in our country. So therefore, I truly want you to have a wealth building tool. Okay. This is the starting point. It's not the end point. This is the starting point. And you want to make sure you start off with the right note. So I want to give you those 8 pointers so that therefore you can make the right decision. But again, it starts with the mindset. It goes back to what you believe, to what your goals are, what you want to do out of life. Okay. What do I want? What is it? Where do I see myself the next 3 to 5 years? Is it my market? Is it not my market? Maybe I'm out to be waiting. Maybe I should, maybe I need to buy right now. Maybe I'm gonna wait a little, about 3 years, maybe 5 years, maybe 6 months. Let me see what's going on. But this is your decision. Okay. Make sure that you make the right decision. Make sure that you get with a good person that's gonna guide you through the process, that's gonna let you know how this process is gonna look like. So with that being said, I truly believe that this video is going to bring a lot of value to that one individual that is looking to get a house and they don't know what to do. Okay. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know what the process looks like, but I'm getting caught up in this limiting belief that I just cannot, I don't think I'm going to be a good homeowner. I don't think that's never going to happen to me. One request only, okay? One request. Share this channel, share this video to them, because I truly believe that they will find a lot of value in this video, okay? Share this video to that one individual, because I promise you that they're going to go through our videos and they're going to see something that's going to serve them in a way that's going to help them make a better decision, not only to buy the house, but for themselves, to be a better person, to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a better friend, to be a better coworker, whatever that looks like. I truly believe that this channel is going to help them achieve that based on all the content that we created. So with that being said, I want to wish you a happy 2023, and I want to wish you a a lot of success for yourself and all of the people that you surround yourself with. So until the next one, we'll see you guys. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.